I was born and raised an orphan in a land that once was free, in a land that poured its love out on the moon. And I grew up in the shadows of your silos filled with grain, but you never helped to fill my empty spoon. And when I was 10, you murdered law with courtroom politics, and you learned to make a lie sound just like truth. But I know you better now, so I don't fall for all your tricks. And you've lost the one advantage of my youth. You kill a black man at midnight just for talking to your daughter. Then you make his wife your mistress, and you leave her without water. And the sheet you wear upon your face is the sheet your children sleep on. At every meal you say a prayer you don't believe, but still you keep on. And your money says in God we trust, but it's against the law to pray in school. You say we beat the Russians to the moon. I say you starve your children to do it. You were far across the ocean, but the war was not your own. While you were winning theirs, you almost lost the one at home. Did you really think the only way to bring about real peace was to sacrifice young children and kill all your enemies? Your politicians all make speeches while your newsmen all take notes, and they exaggerate false issues as they shove them down our throats. Is it really up to them whether our countries sink or float? Well, I wonder who will lead us if none of us would vote. You know my phone is tapped, my lips are chapped from whispering through the fence. You know every move I make, or is that just coincidence? Will you try to make my way of life a little less like jail? If I promise to make tapes and slides and send them to you through the mail. And your money says in God we trust, but it's against the law to pray in school. You say we beat the Russians to the moon. Well, I say you starved your children to do it. You say all men are equal, all men are brothers. Why are the rich more equal than others? Don't ask me for the answers, I've only found one. That a man leaves his darkness when he follows the sun. I woke up in the morning. I don't feel so good, you know. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you don't feel so good. Yeah. Well, Well, if you wake up in the morning, you don't feel so good. You don't feel so good. Yeah, I'm standing on the corner. Sometimes I get the blues, you know, I go on twice and time, come on, because every dealer man from on time, tell me I'll come to him. Yeah, that's right, they're going to send somebody, Mr. Policeman. He come up and he going, what you doing here, boy? I said, I don't know, I was just calling some living. You know, I just woke up this morning, I didn't feel so good. Oh, mama killed a chicken. She thought it was a duck. She put it on a table with its legs sticking up. And Daddy broke his glasses and he fell down drunk. He tried to drown the kitty cat, turned out to be a skunk. You gotta watch what you're doing. Don't you know? You got to watch what you're doing. I knew a girl, she was sweet as could be, but she fell for this man like a chainsaw tree. She listened to his lies, she was fooled by his charms. Now she's sitting with the baby in her arms. You gotta watch what you're doing. You know that. Yeah, you know that. You gotta watch what you're doing. Yeah, you got to watch what you're doing. Whoa. Everything's fine till things get bad. Then you sit around talking about the good times you had. It ain't no good to lead a life of sin. If you don't shape up, you know you can't get in. You gotta watch what you're doing. 'Cause he does. Yes, he does. You know, he watches what we're doing. And he loves us. Still, he watches. And yet he loves us. Some people smile and they seem all right. You know what I'm talking about? Some people go through life like everything is good for them. Like everything is perfect. You know, nothing could be better. Like, hey, what's happening, dude? What? God? Of course I believe in God. Sin? Yeah. I've heard of it. I even know somebody who does it. Well, some people smile and they seem all right. And then later you find out it's more like they got demons in the night. You should try to love everybody, but don't be blind. Some kind of people try to mess up your mind. So watch what you're doing, yeah. Watch out who you hang around with, you know. Watch out who your friends are. Watch out who you fall in love with. Watch out who you marry. I know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Some people say God is dead, that he doesn't exist except inside your head. I wonder how many are gonna be surprised when they look straight up and see him coming to the sky. You gotta know where you're going. Do you know where you're going? Yeah? Then watch what you're doing. Yeah! Whoa! Someone after you. That's right. There's someone after you. You may not believe it, but it's true. He's called a devil, and he wants to lock you up in a zoo. He's got a nice little cage picked out just for you. He thinks it fits real nice, too. So watch what you're doing. You know where you're going. You know if you fall down, get back up again. And keep on going. You gotta watch what you're doing. Watch what you're doing. You gotta watch what you're doing. Well, it's nice to be here yeah. Yeah, but, you know, I come here and I find out you tell lies. I don't see any children wearing wooden shoes that look like me, only their hair is cut here. I don't see any tulips everywhere. You sure this is Holland? Yeah? You tell me this, is this true that you have dug the land out of the ocean? And the fish are very mad. He's an unidentified flying object. You will see him in the air. He's an unidentified flying object. You will drop your hands and stare. You will be afraid to tell your neighbors. They might think that it's not true. But when they open up the morning papers, they will know they've seen him too. He will come back like he promised, with the price already paid. He will gather up his followers and take us all away. He's an unidentified flying object. He will sweep down from the sky. He's an unidentified flying object. Some will sleep but will not die. He's an unidentified flying object, coming back to take you home. He's an unidentified flying object. He will roll away your stone. And if there's life on other planets, I'm sure that he must know. And he's been there once already and has died to save their souls. He's an unidentified flying object. You will see him in the air. He's an unidentified flying object, and you will drop your hands and stare. He's an unidentified flying object, coming back to take you home. He's an unidentified flying object. He will roll away your stone. sipping whiskey from a paper cup. You drown your sorrows till you can't stand up. Take a look at what you've done to yourself. Why don't you put the bottle back on the shelf? Yellow fingers from your cigarettes. Your hands are shaking while your body sweats. Well, why don't you look into Jesus? He's got the answers. Gonorrhea on Valentine's Day, BD. You still looking for the perfect lay? You think rock and roll will set you free? You'll be dead before you're 33. You're shooting junk till you're half insane. A broken needle in your purple vein. Well, why don't you look into Jesus? He's got the answer. Work all night, sleep all day. Take your money, throw it all away. You say you're gonna be a superstar, but you never hung around enough to find out who you really are. Child, your soul was free, your heart ran wild. Each day was different, life was a thrill. You knew tomorrow would be better still. But things have changed, you're much older now. If you're unhappy and you don't know how, then why don't you look into Jesus? He's got the answers. You ought to check it for yourself. Look into Jesus. He's got the answers. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So why don't you look into Jesus? He's got the answers. He got the answers. I'm from America. You know, I'm from America, where all the big ideas come from. Big ideas. Big ideas like going to the moon. Very, very important big idea. Many things were accomplished by going to the moon. First, we got to the moon. That was an accomplishment. Second, we got back to Earth. We couldn't think of anything else to do, so we went to the moon again. You know, we brought back a big bag of rocks. Only cost 47 billion. Must be nice rocks. Now, I'm from America, where all the big ideas come from. Yeah, all the big ideas. Like talking to God in front of people who are watching their TV. This is a big idea. You know, I think Jesus had in mind this idea that we should go and talk to someone who lives next door to us and tell them that God loves them and their life can be different. But in America, we don't go next door. Because we say, well, if they want to find out about God, they can turn on the TV. Someone is preaching about God all the time. Yeah, sometimes someone goes to jail. God wants us to go next door and love our neighbors as ourselves. God wants us to love not only our friends, but our enemies. Me and my brother went to Russia. We played our songs, we played our drums and guitars. Am I supposed to be impressed with glasnost? Well, what about the Christians still behind bars? Selah, 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 Selah. You rip me off, but I ain't gonna sue you. Our Father doesn't like it when we act that way. Here, take my coat, but what good will it do you? You'll feel much better if we stop and pray. Selah, 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 Selah. My songs are spiritual fornication. That's what this television preacher said. I guess he knows a lot about fornication. I heard he wrote some sermons in a prostitute's bed. Selah, 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 Selah. The word is revolution, but no one's fired the shot. Every side has battle plans with detailed counterplots. And the world is closely watching as we near the battle line. But if you're truly wise, you'll keep your eyes on Palestine. The water is polluted, the air is filled with death. Someday it won't be easy to stop and catch your breath. But it's all in Revelations, I guess it's part of the design. So if you're truly wise, you keep your eyes on Palestine. La 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 la. La 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 la. Well, I marched for peace in Washington when things were getting hot. I gave blood in Chicago. I went anemic on the spot. I would have hitchhiked out to Woodstock, but it's all a waste of time. So I'm writing down this song to you to sing and pass along to you. If you're truly wise, you keep your eyes on Palestine. La 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 la. They say revolution. La 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 la. They say peace. I only see pollution. La 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 la. Here comes the tribulation. La 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 la. Here comes the persecution. La 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 la. If you think it's not happening in your country, then wait till it happens to you. The world is coming down to a different road than it planned. We're gonna stand beside Jesus. He's gonna lead us to another land. La 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 la. La 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 la. La la, tell me over and over again, my friend, that you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Some people say rock and roll is of the devil, you know. Well, some people don't like rock and roll, so they think God doesn't like it either. But they say rock and roll is of the devil, you know, but they have been saying this for a long time. I mean, in the 50s, when I first began singing, people said rock and roll is of the devil because it will make your children carry switchblade knives and combs in their pockets. And then they said in the 60s, rock and roll is of the devil. It will make your children take drugs and burn their draft cards and burn college campuses, you know. And then in the 70s, they said, rock and roll, it will make your children wear tight pants and do this. Yeah, and then in the 80s, they say, rock and roll, you know, if you play it backwards, the devil talks to you. And I know that this is something I saw on television, so it must be true. I saw a young boy who was 17 years old, and he was on a TV show with his father. His father, well, it was his father's TV show. His father owned the TV station. His father owned the satellite. And so this boy came on. He was 17 years old. He was an expert on many things. And rock and roll was just one of them. And he said if you play songs backwards like Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, then you can hear the devil talking. And so he played this record backwards, you know. And I didn't believe it until I heard with my own ears that he played this record backwards, and I heard. I was very afraid. He said, you know, that many records, if you play them backwards, you hear very disgusting things, you know. And he plays some things backwards, and then he says, I will tell you what they're saying. And he plays it backwards. And he said, see, Satan is God. That's what it says. Satan is God. You know. And, you know, and then he kept playing these things backwards. And he kept saying, listen to this. It's very disgusting. It's very horrible what you're hearing this group say. And you know, I was very worried for a long time. And then I thought, wait a minute. If you play some of those rock and roll records the right way forwards, the groups are saying disgusting things. Who cares what they're saying backwards? And there, on TV, I would sometimes see someone on the news, you know, it would be a preacher, and he would be saying, yes, sir, we had all of our young people bring their rock and roll albums to the church tonight, and we had them all thrown into a big fire. And you should have heard all the howling noises coming out of the fire. You know, I don't like to hear a preacher talking about the devil all the time. I want to hear a preacher talk about Jesus, you know. I mean, you throw records in the fire, maybe they make a noise. You know, logs do. You know, but I don't think it's demons. I don't think the sound of the records burning in the fire is demons, because I don't think the devil is going to say to all of the demons, your job is to go to earth and go down the streets all over the world and go into record stores and climb into albums. I mean, what if they got into the wrong albums? What if they got into some ABBA records? They could be there for years. So I just think people like certain kinds of music, you know? Like, my father never wanted me to listen to rock and roll. He said, rock and roll is crazy, it doesn't make any sense. Why don't you listen to some good music? So I listened to my father's music, you know. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what life is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, in other words, I love you. Yeah, fly me to the moon. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what life is like on Jupiter and Mars. Yeah, Dad, that makes a lot of sense. And my father said, well, okay, but, you know, I don't like you to listen to rock and roll because it's only about one thing. It's only about romance. So I would listen to my father's music. I'm in the mood for love simply because you're near me, darling, but when you're near me, I'm in the mood for love. I'm in the mood for love simply because you're near me. Darling, when you are near me, I'm in the mood for love. That guy had no self-control. And our parents, your parents, my parents, they used to listen to this kind of music all the time. It's no wonder there's so many of us. I want the people to know that he saved my soul, but I still like to listen to the radio. They say rock and roll is wrong, we'll give you one more chance. I say I feel so good, I'm gonna get up and dance. I know what's right, I know what's wrong, I don't confuse it. Well, all I'm really trying to say is why should the devil have all the good music? I feel good every day, yeah. You know Jesus is rocking and roll my blues away. They say they cut my hair, they're driving me insane. I grew it out long to make room for my brain. Sometimes people don't understand what's a good boy doing in a rock and roll band. Hey man, there's nothing wrong or evil or even communistic about blues licks. If you got a scripture, show me to my face. Why should the devil have all the good music? There's nothing wrong with what I play. Ah! Jesus is a rock and he rolled my blues away. Yes, he did. All right. Oh, 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 I'm not knocking the hymns. Just give me a song that has a beat. I'm not knocking the hymns, I tell you. Just give me something that moves my feet. I don't like some of those funeral marches. Well, you know, I ain't dead yet. Yeah, well, Jesus told the truth. Jesus showed the way. There's one more thing I like to say. They nailed him to the cross and they laid him in the ground, but they should have known you can't keep a good man down. That's right, you can't keep the Lord down. You can bury him in the ground, he's gonna rise up in the morning. Well, all I'm really trying to say is why should the devil have all the good music? I've been filled with the Spirit, you know. That's why I pray. I say Jesus did the rockin' and roll my blues. Jesus did the rockin' and roll my blues. Jesus did the rockin' and roll my blues away. Yeah, I saw the Rolling Stones. Yeah, sometimes I see the Rolling Stones, I think, maybe man did come from the animals. Here we are, 1990, the wall has come down, Romania, Lithuania, things are changing in the world. Many people are saying, peace, peace, there's going to be peace. You know, last year there were 40 countries that were fighting. 40 countries were having war. And people are saying, peace, peace, the wall is down. Yeah, the wall is down. Yeah, but McDonald's is in Moscow. If there's going to be peace, then okay, Romania, is that right? Is an entity that has established independence? Is that right? Romania is independent? No? Yes? You don't know. Some of the satellite nations have declared independence, and it seems that the fatherland has said, okay. But what about Estonia? What about Latvia? What about, why is America down in South America? Did they get lost? Did they think, well, it says America. It says South America, okay, but it says America. Come on, boys, bring in more tanks. Peace, peace. There is no peace. There is no peace. What is going to happen next? Are more walls going to come down? How about the walls in your heart? Are those walls going to come down? What about the war inside of you? What about the things that you don't want to happen anymore, but they continue to happen? And you're trying to push them out of your life. You're trying to make war with your bad habits. But the bad habits keep coming back. You cannot knock the wall down. Everyone is a sinner. You know, but you can stop doing some things easy. You know, like you can give up smoking. Mark Twain said, I can give up smoking anytime I want to. I've done it 1,000 times. You can give up drinking. You can give up some things. But what about your favorite sins? What about the sins that you cannot give up? What about the sins that you don't even want to do anymore because you've done them so much? You've done them for so many years. You know what they are like. They don't make you happier. And you want to stop doing them, but you can't. Maybe other people don't even see these sins, don't think about it. But you're aware of it. Everybody likes to say, drugs, ooh, alcoholism, ooh. Yeah, what about overeating? What about masturbation? What about anger? What about jealousy? What about your favorite sins? The ones that you cannot give up. What are you going to do about those? Shall the wall come down in your heart this year? Or shall you wait till next year? What is happening to the war inside of you? That's what is important. Not what governments do. What you do. That's what's important. There's the European Community, EC. They already have the money already fixed up, and the 10 countries that are belonging to it have all agreed on the money, except for one country, England. This is very strange. I don't know. Has the Queen read the Bible or something, and she doesn't want to have one money for Europe, and she doesn't think it's a good idea to have one world money? I don't know. Anyway, Maggie Thatcher, she votes against the money, and I don't know, maybe the Queen called her up and said, Maggie, I want to remain on the pound. I want my picture there. I don't know. What is going on? What is happening? Shall there be one money for everyone? Shall there someday be one viewpoint for everyone? One direction for everyone? Shall there someday be one leader for everyone? Because it will seem good. If all the money is the same, then there is no fluctuation of currency. No country has to say, well, our money is not doing very good. Today, Germany's money is stronger and our money is not so strong. And we hope that next week our money becomes stronger again. If there's only one money, then it's all the same. And people will say, yeah, this is good, because now we don't have so much poverty. And maybe they will say, we have leaders and presidents and queens, and everybody doesn't get along. They all have different opinions. Why don't we just have one man who knows what is good for the earth? This will seem like a good idea. And this shall happen. People will become very tired of all the confusion in government. And they will say, why isn't there someone who can save us from all the problems of the earth? All of the problems with the poisoned sea and the poisoned air. All of the problems with poverty. All the problems with AIDS. All the problems with cancer. Starvation. In the midst of the war, he offered us peace. He came like a lover from out of the east, with the face of an angel and the heart of a beast. His intentions were 666. He walked up to the temple with gold in his hand, and he bought off the priests and propositioned the land. And the world was his harlot and laid in the sand, while the band played 666. La 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 la. We served at his table and slept on the floor, but he starved us and beat us and nailed us to the door. Well, I'm ready to die, I can't take any more, and I'm sick of his lies and his tricks. Oh yes, he told us he loved us. That was a lie. There was blood in his pockets and death in his eyes. Now my number is up and I'm willing to die if the band will play if the band will play 660. If the band will play 666. Well, my life is filled with songs, but I just could not get along without my friends. And I'm happy now, but when this good life ends, I know a better life begins. And love to Randy Stonehill with his guitar full volume on his amp. Yeah, he's so crazy, but he knows it, and I still love him after all these years, as we both crawl toward the lamp. With Clapton on guitar, Charlie Watts on drums, McCartney on the Hofner bass, with blisters on his thumbs. Ooh. Dear Dylan, watch your fears all hide and disappear while love inside keeps growing. Oh, let it keep growing. You're older but less colder than the jokes and folks you spent your childhood knowing. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And someone died for all your friends, but even better yet, he lives again. And if these songs do not make sense to you, I hope his spirit slips on through. He loves you. He loves you. God loves you. And if these words do not appeal to you, I hope his spirit slips on through. You know, Jesus loves you. I will sing a short song. This is from 1968. I like this company, EO. The last time I came and did a TV show with EO, I said, let's go into the streets. And so they followed me down the streets, but from far away, so that no one could tell I was being followed by cameras. And I'm walking and some people come down from a coffee shop or a tea shop or something, and they go, what are you doing, you American? I say, uh-huh. Say, you want to come up and have some coffee? And they say, I don't drink coffee. I say, you want to come to a concert? And they say, yeah, what kind of concert? I said, I'm singing a concert tonight. You want to come? Yeah, okay. Does it cost anything? I said, you can come for free. And they go, can my friends come for free? I say, uh-huh. So they say, come here, come here, come here. So we go up in the coffee house, and there are a lot of people sitting around having coffee. And so they come to the concert. So I am singing the concert, and then there's an intermission where everybody stands up and walks around and stuff. And then a policeman kind of a person comes backstage and says to me, there are people up on the roof taking drugs. And I say, that's okay, they're with me. I know them. It's okay, don't arrest them now. Arrest them later. So I finished the concert, and EO, the next week, goes back to the coffee house and makes more film of them talking. You know, what did you think of the music? It's okay. Did you like the message? No, I don't believe. Would you go to another concert if you had the chance? No, maybe. You know, different people said different things, and I thought, this is so honest for EO to go and find out the bad news, instead of only reporting the good news that somebody says, yes, last week I took many drugs, but now... So I would like to sing a song that anyone who is taking any kind of drug into their life, whether the drug is television or science fiction books or too much mathematics, when you meet God, you don't believe it. You say, how can this be? This cannot be true. I don't believe in miracles. I know what's real. I don't pretend. Oh no, I don't believe in miracles or stories with the happy end. Life is no one's friend. But then we met, and I felt so free. And suddenly, I felt the change come over me. Do you suppose a miracle is happening to me? I don't believe in miracles. I've been around. I've seen enough. The only way to get along, you must be strong, you must be tough. Life is one big bluff. But then you opened up the door and you walked right in, and all your fears fell on the floor. So do you suppose a miracle is happening? Do you suppose a miracle is happening? I don't believe in miracles. I've been around. I've seen enough. Life is one big bluff. But when we met, I felt so free. Suddenly, I felt a change come over me. Do you suppose a miracle is happening to me? Do you suppose a miracle is happening to me? Well, do you suppose a miracle is happening to me?
Thank you, Larry Norman.